I think the way it works is that China's central leadership blessed hacking and cyber espionage, and they did this years ago. So what they did is they let units like this off the leash and said, go and hack, get Western technology, that would be a good thing. That's different from them being in control, and in fact one of the issues is having let groups like this off the leash, it might be hard for Beijing to get them back on. It's one of the most important relationships for the US, and in the last year the President, the Secretary of State, and the Secretary of Defense have all raised hacking with their Chinese counterparts. The Chinese need to get the message that it's reached an intolerable level. And I think that message wasn't delivered before 2012, but if they've missed it, things like this New York Times story certainly help focus their attention.
Public disclosure of cyber attacks, unfortunately, is insufficient to deter future attacks. One of the main reasons for that is simply because we don't have an agreed upon international standard on how to hold people accountable and what the burden of proof is to trace to a specific attacker. And so without understanding what that international standard is, even though there is some evidence that's been published about this particular Chinese organization, we don't know if it meets a burden of proof, and that just simply hasn't been established by any international body or court. We found that cyber attackers, if they're determined and they're well financed, they'll inevitably break into any organization. It's just sort of how long it will take and the amount of effort that's required. We found that the most effective security organizations invest very heavily in user education, since inevitably it's users who are the most vulnerable points of attack. And the other thing that we find security organizations do effectively is adopt a defense in depth strategy where they have multiple security technologies that complement each other so that you're not relying on a single point of defense where once an attacker gets by that, they have access to everything.